Another amazing week of Lego creations. As always, remember that all the builders and the articles mentioned in this video will be linked in the description down below for you to go and check them out. Welcome to a new episode of This Week in Bricks. This week we start with some work in progress instead of some fully completed mock. We have Nabe mocks that now has been popping out amazing creation. Is maybe now one of the best builders that we can find around, with a crazy work in progress of a Jaguar. We only have the head here, but you can see already how many parts go into it and the crazy parts usage that go into creating this one that might turn out to be his best mock to date. Another work in progress, but it looks like almost done here, is by Captain Brick Sparrow. This is a very, very cool build. This is a recreation of the Tower of Terror. I was not familiar with the building, but then I actually saw some real images of it, and they really, really look perfectly like it. And by the way, this is a massive, massive build. It's still need to finish it, I think, a bit of the ground, the landscape, but this is a truly amazing build and really, really massive. Then we move to some smaller scale. We have mexxbrixx, that I think before was the mexxart, a master of micro scale builds and vintage builds as well. And here we have some very nostalgic builds. So here we have some micro Nintendo entertainment system. This was actually my first console growing up. And I also play with the Super Nintendo, which is well done as well. I didn't play with Nintendo after that. Here we have the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, the Switch. So a very, very cool recreation of all the Nintendo console. And you also give it a crack with PlayStation. Here I had a little bit more playing time because I had the PlayStation 1, I had the PlayStation 2, and I had the PlayStation 3. That's it. Then I grow a little bit too old and don't have time to play anymore. So I didn't play with the PS4 and I didn't play with the PS5. But anyway, these are some fantastic recreations that are not easy to achieve at such a small scale. Next up, we have Lego designer georgegilliatt with a very, very cool build. We featured him a few times already on the channel. This is an alternate model of a Creator 3-in-1 set that vintage telephone that we use the parts from that set to create this very cool cat. So this is a very good lesson on how to use pieces creatively. So there was no animals in this Creator 3-in-1 and now he made one. So this is actually very, very cool. Next up, we have Biggie. We featured him last week with this very cool March build, and now we have the follow-up with Homer Simpson. Again, very cool parts usage, very nice build, instantly recognizable with Homer eating a donut. Another very cool character is by Optimus Convoy, and this is so cool. The parts usage is insane. We have some wheel pieces, we have some macaroni pieces, big and small. We have some leaf pieces, we have a beard. This is very, very cool with this very chill character with sandals, hands in the pocket, listening to music. This is such a very cool build called Sandy Shade. Next up, we have ochre.jelly that we featured, I think, one of his interview recently. He's famous for all his recreation of some pop culture and meme builds. And here he has a very cool build with a character from K-pop Demon Hunters that I recommend you to go and watch. It's a pretty cool movie. Anyway, here we have one of the three characters. Let's hope that you will build one of these for each of the characters, the other characters as well. Then we have another amazing builder, Spark Mox. We featured him a few times already. And here he has a smaller build that is following this wave of many creators, many builders building characters from Silk Song, the game. I didn't play the game, so I'm not familiar with the character, but it's definitely very well executed. Next up, we have another microscale build. This one is by totomeja that we already featured a few weeks ago, I think, with one of the frog builds. He has a microscale recreation of Microshima. We talk about Microshima multiple times on the channel. There are many different iterations in the community. And this is a microscale recreation of the version that was on display at Brick in Bavaria 2024 with a lot of very cool details to check it out. Next up, we have Sadness with some very cool medieval builds on his channel. And this time he has this Release the Sound, which is a very, very cool mock. I love the contrast of colors between the ground floor, the different level of the building, and the dark blue roof. Some very interesting technique and some kind of Tudor style in the middle level. This is a very, very cool build, and there's also very, very nice awning and some very nice texturing on the floor, including curved corners. So this is very technically difficult build. Next up, we have RGB 900 with I wouldn't say a car, I would call it a vehicle probably, using parts from probably some Ferrari set. He recreated this Star Racing is called. This very interesting concept model with 6 wheels, 2 small ones at the front and 2 big ones at the back that are slightly inclined inwards, and the driver sitting in front with the cockpit that can open. This is a very, very interesting concept. Now let's move into the article section of the video. Mock of the week on Tips and Brick is the Sea Serpent Fist by Syrdarian. We featured this builder many times, as well as this build. He did an amazing campaign at the Summer Joust, and here we have a little bit of a breakdown of the different parts usage that go into creating this amazing build. Next up, we have some tips on building on angles. So here we are using mirror triangles, and there are some interesting techniques that are definitely always useful if you want to add a little bit something more to your creation to create some interesting angles. There is also a challenge, a building challenge on tips and builds, which is the color challenge. We mentioned about it last week, and here we have a very good example. There are a few submissions coming in. By Noble Stats, we have the first entry over here. This is very, very cool. This mousse built in with some bright light blue, brown and bright light blue. And for these antlers, you can see there's some minifigure torsos being used. So there's some very clever parts usage over here. I really like this combination of colors. Then we have New Elementary with an interesting article about Lego 3D elements. There's been a few parts already popping out in the past, and most recently this beautiful little train that is coming with the Winter Village. Somehow in the community, some people were not happy about having 3D parts. I really don't understand where it is coming from. We have any type of parts in Lego set. We have cloth pieces, we have nets, we have different types of plastic. I don't see what's wrong in having a little 3D printed part. Actually, I think it's pretty cool. Next up, we have the Brothers Brick with some very interesting feature. We have Evancelt Lego with a very, very interesting medieval build made for the Reven Knights, and there's a very interesting choice of color. Of course, for the castle build, that is a color not very commonly seen in medieval builds, as well as the ground. There's some very nice choice of color with the tan and I don't know if that's sand green chrome, probably olive green. Very, very cool build. Next up, we have an interview celebrating 10 years of mock with a master of building mechs, which is the Italian builder Marco De Bon. Go and check it out. He has some truly amazing builds, and of course here there is a very interesting interview that is always enjoyable to read. We also have a little article about Friendshiptember. It's a contest that we just mentioned last week. Some prizes are sponsored by the Brothers Brick and by other platforms, and here you can see also some example of some very cool submissions, some from the past years. Then we move on to Brick Nerd. Here we have another interview. This one is with Justin Chang, interview by Ted Andens, and here we are talking about Chibi style building. They are amazingly cute, so this is a very, very interesting interview, and there are some beautiful builds. I'm not too much into this type of characters, and I don't know where this character exactly come from, but I really love this style of building, and they are very, very masterfully done, and there are also some pretty interesting part usage. Anyway, they're just very, very cute. We also have an article by Lego designer Markus Rollbuhler about Lego chairs and all different types of chairs and which elements have been used in different mocks to create chairs throughout the community. And it's not easy. If you don't want something too bulky compared to a minifigure, building a chair is not that straightforward, and here we have some very, very clever tips. Let's move into the contest section very quickly. We have Friendshiptember, we just mentioned it. Here is the page where you can go and post and collaborate on all these builds. One very cool example so far that I really like is this build by Stevepulda, which is Friends Deep Sea Exploration Vessel. Very, very nice, very cool round shape and choice of color. And I particularly like the character sitting actually at the bottom, very close to the seabed with all these lights illuminating the bottom of the sea. Very, very cool. Now let's close the video with the YouTube section. We have Build It with Bricks, very interesting channel that I just discovered. He built this very cool suspender roller coaster. It doesn't look so stable at times, but the proof of concept is there, and it's very, very cool to see the full loop of this roller coaster going, as well as some of the slow down images. Another one that we featured before is ABrickDreamer. Here we have the drop of a new build by ABrickDreamer with Luca Petraglia, which is Santa Maria del Fiore. This is the facade of this building that is amazingly cool, and you can also match it with the tower that they already built before. And you can buy this build that is tons of parts and it's quite expensive, but these are all limited edition sets that you can find on their website, and I will link it down below. Next up, Solid Brick Studios, of course, one of the big names in the YouTube community, that is gonna have his own new building and review studio. So I'm always personally very interested in see how people can build their own studios, even though I don't have the space to do it. But I find it always very interesting. So stay tuned with the channel to see what he's gonna do in the future. Then we have One by One Brick that is moving into the next stage of his medieval storytelling, and here we are building some landscape for his latest medieval castle outpost with some farming builds as well. Very, very cool. We also have another build by Hachiroku24, and this is another one of those characters from the game Silk Song. Very, very cute build, very, very elegant and well executed as always. On my channel, I have a little video about a fun little build that I made for the Friendshiptember contest, or challenge I should say, with my Ninja Sea Turtles. It was a very fun little project, and I also have a behind the scene video for members only if you want to find out more. If you like my videos, please consider to leave a like, comment and subscribe, or go and check out one of the previous episodes of This Week in Bricks, like the one that is linked on screen now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.